Look at this. What you are seeing is not just a tunnel. It is a $6.7 billion bet against reality. Right now, China is facing its darkest economic hour in decades. Real estate is crumbling, youth unemployment is skyrocketing, and the national debt is ticking like a time bomb. Logic says you stop spending. Logic says you save every penny. But Beijing didn't listen to logic. Instead, they poured enough concrete to build a small city into the middle of the Pearl River. They call it the Shenzhen-Zhongshan Link. It's an engineering monster. It breaks every record in the book, and it might be the most expensive mistake in modern history. So, is this the masterstroke that saves China's economy, or is it a golden noose tightening around its neck? Let's look at the numbers. To understand this gamble, you have to look at the map. This is the Greater Bay Area. Think of it as Silicon Valley, but on steroids. 86 million people, a GDP of $1.9 trillion. On the east side, you have Shenzhen. It's rich, it's crowded, and housing costs a fortune. On the west side, you have Zhongshan. It's quieter, cheaper, and desperate for growth. Between them sits a massive body of water. For decades, if you wanted to drive from the factory in Zhongshan to the tech hub in Shenzhen, you had a problem. You had to drive north, all the way up to the Humen Bridge. And let me tell you, that bridge is a nightmare. A 2-hour drive turns into 5 hours of gridlock. Supply chains choke, money burns in traffic. The Shenzhen Link changes the math. It cuts that 2-hour misery loop down to a 30-minute sprint. It connects the rich side to the cheap side directly. Sounds perfect, right? Well, here's where the physics starts to fight back. Engineers usually love bridges. They're cheaper and easier to build. But here they hit a wall, or rather, a ceiling. This spot is directly under the flight path of the Shenzhen International Airport. If you build tall towers for a suspension bridge, you crash planes. It's that simple. So they had to go down, but you can't just dig a hole in the water. They used a method called immersed tubes. Imagine a concrete shoebox. Now imagine that shoebox weighs 80,000 tons, roughly the same weight as a U.S. aircraft carrier. They built 32 of these monsters on land. Then they dragged them out to sea. This is the hard part. You have to lower this skyscraper-sized block 40 meters underwater. You're fighting currents, zero visibility, and massive water pressure. If you miss the alignment by few centimeters, the seal fails. Water rushes in, the tunnel floods, game over. And to connect the bridge section to the tunnel section, they needed land where there was no land. So they built artificial islands. Look at this. It's shaped like a giant kite to cut through the water current. They drove 57 massive steel cylinders into the seabed in just 4.5 months. Speed is everything in China, but speed costs money. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price tag, $6.7 billion. That's a staggering amount of cash for 24 kilometers of road. And here's the kicker, who pays for it? The rumors suggest the toll for a single trip could be anywhere from 30 to 40 US dollars. Think about that. If you're a truck driver, that eats your entire profit margin. If the price is too high, people will just keep using the old slow bridge. We saw this happen with the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau bridge nearby. It cost $20 billion, and today, it's practically a ghost town. The traffic volume is a fraction of what they predicted. So, why take the risk? Real estate. This bridge isn't just moving cars, it's moving property values. Speculators are betting that people will work in rich Shenzhen and live in cheap Zhongshan. But with China's housing market in free fall, that bet is looking very shaky. They built a pipeline for a boom that might never happen. The Shenzhen-Zhongshan Link is a marvel. It proves that Chinese engineers can conquer the ocean. They can build the impossible. But engineering is only half the battle. The other half is economics. This tunnel is now open. The concrete is dry. The bills are due. If the economy roars back, This will be the artery that powers the future of the Pearl River.
But if the stagnation continues, this will be a $6.7 billion monument to hubris.
I want to hear from you. Is this infrastructure at its finest or a debt trap in disguise? Would you pay $40 to save an hour of your life? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, gravity always wins, but compound interest is a close second.